one that can see.
At the end of World War II, when defeat seemed inevitable, Nazi Germany turned to desperation. In the final months of the war, a secret project known as Die Glocke, the Bell, became the focus of the regime's most brilliant and dangerous scientists. It was said to be an experiment unlike any other, involving unknown metals, extreme radiation, and mysterious rotating fields of energy. Officially, it was described as a propulsion experiment, but according to some who survived, it was much more than that. They said it was an attempt to bend time itself. Deep in the mountains of Lower Silesia, near the complex known as Wenceslas Mine, construction crews worked day and night on underground chambers. The facility was heavily guarded, and scientists were forbidden from keeping notes or communicating with anyone outside. Those who worked there spoke of a massive bell-shaped device made of a shimmering metal, filled with a mercury-like substance that glowed violet when activated. When the machine spun at high speed, it produced a humming sound and a violent magnetic field that killed plants, animals, and even humans nearby. It was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The few witnesses who survived claimed that during one experiment the bell emitted a blinding light and caused strange distortions in time. One scientist reported seeing moving shadows of himself seconds before he actually moved, as if reality had split in two. Others claimed the device was designed to create anti-gravity lift, allowing the Nazis to build flying discs capable of silent, limitless travel. The SS code name for the project was Chronos, which means time. Whatever they were trying to achieve, it was clear that they were pushing the limits of science and sanity. As the Allies advanced into Germany, the project vanished. The scientists were either killed, captured, or disappeared without a trace. When American and Soviet forces searched the area, they found the ruins of the test facility and massive concrete rings where the bell was reportedly mounted. But the machine itself was gone. Some say it was destroyed by the Nazis to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Others believe it was secretly transported to South America or captured by the Americans under Operation Paperclip, just like many of Hitler's top scientists. Years later, declassified intelligence documents revealed that both the CIA and KGB were obsessed with finding out what the bell truly was. In the 1960s, several UFO sightings in South America described glowing bell-shaped crafts identical to the Nazi diagrams. Coincidence? Or had the experiment survived in secret laboratories, continuing under new governments? The more you look, the stranger it gets. Even modern physicists admit that rotating plasma fields and magnetic rings, similar to what was described in the bell, could, in theory, distort gravity or time. If the Nazis really did create a time-altering device, even a small one, it would explain why so many witnesses disappeared and why official records were erased. Imagine the implications. An army that could manipulate time itself. Whether or not the bell was truly a time machine, the mere idea that such a project existed proves how far the Third Reich was willing to go to change its fate. Today, the ruins of the Wenceslas mine still exist, silent and haunting. Locals call it the Gate to Time. Tourists who visit say their compasses spin wildly, their electronics fail, and an uneasy energy fills the air. Is it just the imagination of those who believe in legends, or is there something still hidden deep underground, something still alive? The story of the Nazi time machine remains one of the most chilling mysteries of World War II. It's a reminder of what happens when human ambition pushes beyond the limits of understanding. In the race to master time, the Nazis may have opened a door they could never close, and if the bell truly existed, then somewhere, maybe even now, it's still spinning.
A machine that can detect these waves and render scenes of history in vivid images.
The thing looks like a Heath Robinson invention. You wouldn't think it could possibly work until you see that footage. I think most people thought there was a man behind her doing all the technical work, but she did it. It sounds so futuristic, and yet all this was happening in the late 30s.
Since revealing to the world the marvels of the Chronoscope, a machine that can see the past, the charming Miss Charlotte Keppel has become internationally famed. News of her discovery has spread around the globe like wildfire. In her native city of Dublin, Miss Keppel entertains an audience of historians and dignitaries, including the Prime Minister of Era, Mr. Eamon de Valera. In London, Mr. Albert Einstein welcomes her to the International Physics Convention. And this queer fellow is Lieutenant Colonel Copcroft. Copcroft commented that what astonished him the most about the whole affair was not that this came from the mind of a woman, but that she is Irish. And here's a more sinister admirer, Dr. Heinrich Freisler, an archaeologist from the Third Reich. Freisler has already made a bid for the Chronoscope, but our girl shows that crowd a clean pair of heels. And good show, Charlotte.
Around the world, the news of Charlotte's sentence is received with dismay. Allied leaders petition the Reich government for clemency, but their pleas fall on deaf ears. The Nazi ideologues thirst for Charlotte's blood. The prison authorities announced that Charlotte's execution is to be carried out on the following day hence. Charlotte had fashioned a Tesla coil out of bed springs, forks, and hairpins. She plugged the object into the cell's light bulb socket. It created a massive power surge. The Gestapo records reveal that Charlotte crossed the border into Switzerland 2 weeks later. After this, her trail disappears.
Because this shit runs the dome. This world runs our dome. We're in the very center of this dome. Yep. There's a valve at the North Pole, which isn't the North Pole. Right. That's where the tree of life used to come out and spread all the way up to this dome. Mm-hmm. That tree of life linked your brain and your pineal gland to the ether. Okay. And I can talk to you wherever you were under that second dome. Okay. Okay, and if you're at a different dimension and frequency and you raise yourself up, you can then travel outside of here. Damn. Okay? To the ice ring and everything? To anything, anywhere. That's where the tree of life used to come out and spread all the way up to this dome. Mm-hmm. That tree of life linked your brain and your pineal gland to the ether. Okay. And I can talk to you wherever you were under that second dome. Okay. Okay, and if you're at a different dimension and frequency and you raise yourself up, you can then travel outside of here. Damn. Okay? To the ice ring and everything? To anything, anywhere.
It certainly is a big, round room. The brainwaves of mutants are different from average human beings. This device amplifies my power, allowing me to locate mutants across great distances. woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked.
The Akashic records. This is what I believe the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is and was. The Akashic records are a mystical, non-physical library or energetic field believed to hold a complete record of every event, thought, emotions, and intention that has ever occurred or will occur for all souls and the universe itself, accessible through deep meditation or spiritual practice for insight and guidance. You see, this is what they, in quotations, tap into by doing all their stuff, witchcraft and other things like this. They tap into the Akashic records, which is the knowledge of everything. And that's how they know things. That's how they get all this knowledge and information and power. And this is it. It's called the Akashic records. The Bible calls it the knowledge, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Isn't that interesting? Then it goes on to say, derived from the Sanskrit word Akasha, meaning ether space, these records are seen as a cosmic database, a universal memory bank for personal and collective spiritual growth, not literal books, but experiences, visuals, or feelings accessed in a higher dimension. Oh yeah, this is it, all right. I've talked about this years ago, but it comes up every now and then. What is the knowledge? The tree of the knowledge of good and evil? It's the Akashic records. You see, all around the world, you have the same things in essence, but just named different things. Now look at the language that it uses to describe the Akashic records. It says a library, right? Not literal books, but it's recording a library. Now take that same language to Revelation 20. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened. The Akashic record. And another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. You see, what is going on in the Bible is God is using what we look at as mundane, normal, everyday things, like a book, right? Like something being written, to describe a higher reality. 1 John 5, 7, and 8. For there are three that bear record in heaven, record in heaven. Get it? The Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these three are one. And there are three that bear witness in earth. Well, it's just like a camera. Before it can be recorded, it has to be witnessed through the lens. That's our eyes. That's our bodies. The Spirit and the water and the blood, and these three agree in one. You see, we are witnesses, our bodies, what we see, what we go through, what we feel, and it's transferred and recorded in the heavens, in the cloud. They are showing us all of this in the way everything works today. Wi-Fi, the cell phones, the cloud, computers. That's what all that's about. See, when God created Adam and Eve, he was teaching them things. And I believe he was going to teach them all about the different things that they couldn't see, the invisible realm. But Satan came along and had Adam and Eve basically convince them to do it his way and convince them to be wise in their own conceits. You see, when Genesis 3 talks about the fruit making them wise, it's not the wisdom that's bad. God talks all about getting wisdom, getting knowledge, but it's the way that you get it. God wanted Adam and Eve to do things a certain way in a certain process, and Satan came along and convinced them to do it another way. And that's exactly what's going on today. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys, is that you can get the same results, but in a different way, right? You can end up at the same place or pretty similar, just in a different way. That's why I'm telling you guys that I believe that they found ways to cheat death for a while. They have, obviously found ways to clone people, manipulate DNA, do things that we would never even understand. And so their knowledge and wisdom, yes, well, it's very high on the scale compared to us. It's tainted. Just like that song, Tainted Love, whoa. Because ever since the beginning, the serpent convinced Adam and Eve to do it the wrong way. And man is doing the same exact thing right now. Just as it is in the beginning, it shall be in the end. God declares the end from the beginning. That's why we are seeing the rise of this super advanced technology that they only give us a glimpse of. But even in all this technology, the things that they name it, they're telling us. Open AI, just like their eyes were opened. The logo for Apple was a fruit with a bite. The first Apple computer was $666.66. I mean, they're telling us.
When that happened, then there will be time someone invent something that we will be talking to each other through cobweb. And he shook his head and said, I don't understand what that meant. And then some young fellow told him that that's a telephone line. You look up in the sky, it looks like cobwebs up there. We're talking to each other. And pretty soon, there'll be a time we close everything in a room talking, doors and windows. But way over the mountain someplace, somewhere be hearing us talking. And I can't understand that, he said. Then again, this one fellow told him that must be radio or TV. And then these period inventions will show where we are in this life as we go along. Then he said, there'll be road in the sky. And he shook his head. He said, I don't see how anybody could build a road way up in the sky where people will be traveling. But they found out that it was airplane that be having a road up there, carrying people up there. So then he said, when that is fulfilled, there can be trouble on this earth. Then the third one that will finally bring about purification of this land in this continent would be a man with red cap, red hat, or red cloak. Now, we do not know who that nation is or what people, but they say those people will have a large population and they will also have much scientific inventions of all types.
In January 2025, Donald Trump, alongside leaders from OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank, announced the $500 billion project Stargate, a massive initiative to build extensive U.S. AI data centers for American AI dominance.
very powerful nation, going to be. So once he starts moving, these others too will join him with all their power and might. The three of them are going to come here quickly together, and nothing can stop them.